It's already rolling, by the way. Are you nervous?
Yeah, pretty nervous. It's like when you're watching F1 and you kind of feel like, no, it's.
Welcome to the podcast. This is Haripriya. This is Raghuram. So
Yeah,
let's get on with it.
so basically, what I wanted to tell was, whenever a F1 driver is in his car,
Starting his race.
Yeah, so obviously it'll be.
The first 30 seconds,
It's all
Love.
about nervousness.
Yeah.
Is it like whether they'll crash, how
Like
things will
how Max is gonna come from 14 to 0 from 1. Like where will I end up behind Max?
No.
The inevitability of Formula 1.
You see, the past few races, you can see that Max is not doing well, and
Buddy,
it's
the Miami
surprisingly-
Grand Prix, Max started in 9th position after a very bad qualifying session, and now he won the race. He had a better tire management. You didn't watch the race, I know, but he had a better tire management, and he did it. He won the race.
See, there have been quite few races already done in this season. And
Just five.
Yes, still.
And he's leading the championship.
He's leading the championship, but there are times where his teammate is giving him a good fight. Agree or not? We all know that even if Max goes back to 14th position or something, he'll definitely come back. That is for sure. But this time there is something different going on because he's not able to give his best.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say, but I think Max is in a point of his career where everything is right about the car. It is just that sometimes the luck does not favor him. I think I think not with Max, not just with Max. I think it's with Max and Checo as an example. They both are in a great car, the best cars that I think the Formula 1 has ever seen, the best car that the Formula 1 racing has ever produced. And they just make mistakes sometimes. Checo has made mistakes. The Miami race, he made mistakes. And the previous, I don't see Max making mistakes, but
He does. Typically it's like there are times he doesn't take things in a sportive manner. He's like a crybaby,
Mate, we all have no grip. You all need to leave a little bit of space.
Yeah, what's your boy?
Yeah, sure. But expecting it next time the same, Take care.
This guy did this, he did that. Whereas you can see in the previous
it's a sport.
or something, Charles just says like it's just an incident in the race.
Nothing, just an incident on the race.
And Max he keeps on explaining about, no, this happened, he should give space, this, that.
Because see, you're
That
trying
is
to
like a
prove
crybaby.
it's not
You can-
crybaby thing.
Yeah, you can
There are sportive incidents. There are we call it racing incidents. We can call it racing incidents, but I don't think Max cries about it. He just explains that this is not my fault. This is what he's doing. It's a racing incident that happens. We can't see, and moreover, that this current season of Formula 1, earlier you could directly challenge the race director. The team principal can directly call the race director and say that, see, this happened. This guy punched into my driver, so give him a penalty. Do it under investigation. But recently, after the 2021 controversy, they removed that. So now the only way that the incident is acknowledged by the FIA or the stewards or the director is only if the driver says it out loud, or the driver's engineer says it out loud, so that it goes on TV and somebody acknowledges it. So that's one reason why people are really crying right now.
Recently in the previous race, he was talking about like, you should respect me. He told Russell that, you should.
You're a dickhead.
Yeah, you should respect, you should give us space.
You should give space, yeah.
But naturally, it's a very thin, narrow path.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously everyone will be trying to do their best. So probably in that case, Russell was thinking that he can pull it over, and he was going. Even if he had stopped, it would be a huge, probably a red flag, because the cars behind are also racing at a good amount of speed.
But again, see that particular corner, that particular track was, I think what he said was, it was very degrading, I guess. So it was not a very grippy track for everybody. So everybody is starting on cold tires. So they did not have much grip. So we have to be wary in the first few corners. You can't go launch yourself. See, I'm not saying Verstappen is at fault over there, because Russell is as fault as Verstappen is, because he has in many incidents has taken out drivers in turn ones. Example, Carlos Sainz. In a race, I think it was in Silverstone. Carlos was the pole position guy. George Russell took him out in turn one.
And since we are talking about Max, now that his teammate is being his competitor, do you think if Max will have some kind of problems with his car or something, or if there are red flags, you think Perez would possibly make it to the World Championship?
I think at some point in the season, Checo will be leading the championship. But given how the politics works at Red Bull and given how Max's performance on the track, I think the ultimate winner is going to be Max Verstappen. It's inevitable, but I think at some point in the next 4 to 5 races, Checo might lead the championship for a while, for just one race probably. But after that, I think it's going to be Max again.
And it is also obvious that the constructor championship will also go to because
there's nobody.
They have this amazing cars.
Yeah, exactly, and there's nobody behind Mercedes. Ferrari.
It's gone. Ferrari is gone.
Ferrari is done. Did you see Miami Grand Prix? Ferrari was what, 7th or 8th? I think Leclerc was 7th or 8th, and Carlos Sainz has a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It's done. Let's not talk about Ferrari. Fuck.
No, I mean, like, literally, I guess either we were talking about the pole positions and stuff either today or yesterday. I don't remember, but when you mentioned Carlos Sainz, I was like, oh, Carlos Sainz
he's still on the grid.
Yeah, exactly.
He's still on the grid. He's a very forgettable racer, I believe. Yeah, he's a very forgettable racer.
And Charles is having such a bad time. Last year also, this year also.
This is a worse year for him. He just had one. He was on podium only the last race. That's it. Baku. After that.
Yeah. And coming to this Alonso.
God damn.
What are your thoughts on Aston Martin?
Fuck Aston. I mean, they're having the best season. I mean, of course, after being above and behind Williams in the past 2 seasons, this is definitely a step up for them. But again, for the past 5 races, Fernando Alonso has been doing P3, 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 P4, and P3.
True.
So at some point, he was happy. He was happy being P3. He said that in interviews, like, I'm happy with being P3. This is a great step up for Aston Martin and for myself. But probably at some point in the season, he might be like, okay, I'm happy now, but when I'm gonna fight the Red Bulls? When can I go? When can I step up?
So, do you think by the end of the season, Aston Martin's car could get better and they would probably give a fight?
That's too optimistic to feel that. Okay, not too much. See, in Formula 1, it's basically that if you have a great car this season, it is definitely sure that you're going to have a great car tomorrow.
True.
But Mercedes had a shit car after 2021, but that's a different scenario. But again, it's a development. Every year you develop something, you learn something from the track. And I think Aston Martin is going to learn everything that they have put in.
They had quite a few problems, right? They had some few problems. And
not many, but
few.
They have a good number of units.
Last race or something.
Yeah. So, but yeah, again, I don't think they'd be going for a fighting for championship or constructor championship per se. But probably next season you could have a fight between the Red Bulls and the Aston Martin.
You think Mercedes is out?
Yeah, they're done. I mean, this season though they're done. I don't know what tomorrow in the next 2024 season, but this season I think Mercedes is done.
Last season, last season, we saw at the end of the season, we saw Russell doing too good. He was almost making up to the pole position.
Oh yeah, Mr. Consistency.
Exactly.
Top
So
5 positions every
that
race.
gave a quite lot of hope for all the Mercedes fans that probably this season Russell will take over the championship or something like.
I mean, what can a driver do if he has a shit car? If he has a tractor to drive on track, if he's given a tractor, then what the fuck can a driver do? That's the case of Mercedes.
And even in qualifying, when we compare the grid of the qualifying and grid of the races, there are quite a few people who, do give their best and do extraordinary in their qualifying. But when the race starts, they come back, they fall places, Why do you think it is, for example?
Well, see, for example, we have Kevin Magnussen, we have Hülkenberg, we have
Gasly.
yeah, Gasly. See, it's like this. When you're qualifying, you have the track temperatures are different. First thing, the track evolves every after every half an hour or every 1 hour with the temperature and all. If it cools down, if it rises up, the track evolves. So in a qualifying, what happens? The Q1, Q2, Q3, the track slowly evolves. Either it gets colder or either it gets hotter. So, and they're also running on very low fuel. Because of that minimal fuel requirements, the cars are faster than they are in the race. In the race, they have to go on full fuel. It's just that they cannot manage the tires. You don't have to manage tires when you're doing... Tires is a very important part in qualifying. You don't have to manage tires. You just have to drive it to the limits. Although you have to use the tires later on in the future, in the next race, but you're driving it to the limits. But in a race, tire management is very important. That's why Max Verstappen is the greatest of all time.
Yes, you're not going to leave Max.
I don't think so. Tire management is very important in race. So that's where people, they have problems and they make some minor mistakes. They miss one small turn, they miss one apex, and your whole lap is done. Your whole lap gets spoiled.
What are your predictions for this season? I know it's very, very soon, but
I'll go on record and tell you that I won't go wrong this season. But I think Verstappen's gonna win the championship, Perez is gonna be the second, and Alonso third. I think that's gonna be this whole season.
You don't think like someone would give a fight to Alonso and
probably Russell. Probably the interesting match is gonna be with.
So
Alonso
you're putting Ferrari away from
it's
all
done.
this?
Ferrari's done, bro.
You don't think like Charles would make a
Charles can, but Charles has a shit car. Charles has been given a shit car. His gearbox was changed. He has one more gearbox left for the entire season. If he changes that, penalties again.
What about Lance Stroll?
I don't think Aston Martin will let Lance Stroll fight Alonso.
Would it be like first two would be from Red Bull and second two would be from Aston Martin? Because it's clear that Alonso is given the first priority and Lance is fine with it. He's also supporting Alonso. So would this be the top
probably four? It could be the top four, but I don't think Stroll has enough experience to be top four. I think Russell is more experienced than Stroll and better driver than Stroll. So yeah, I think he'll be. But he has a better car, Aston Martin. So it could be that.
Are you missing Daniel this season?
Actually, yeah, I think I am missing Daniel. He was a good driver, but I don't know what happened with Daniel. Man. Very sad. I think he's gonna come back and. He says he want to come back to the top 3 teams, but I don't think he'll come back to the top 3 teams. He'll probably race at AlphaTauri or Alpine again. I don't think he'll go to Alpine, but probably he'll go to AlphaTauri.
Do you think, there are certain rumors that if Perez doesn't do good, then Daniel might replace him?
Well, Perez won a race and he has 2 pole positions in the first 5 races. So.
But you also told it's too quick. Right, there are quite a lot of races ahead, so you never know. But it's just a hypothetical question. Like if Perez doesn't do good, do you think they would even make that decision? Because personally, according to me, I don't think Daniel would replace Perez, even if he doesn't do good.
Red Bull has always been a team where they prioritize results more than a person or a racer. They don't give time to race drivers. You have seen that in the past with Alex Albon, who was in Red Bull driving beside Max Verstappen, and one season and he's done because he was not providing results. Red Bull always need results. They're very cutthroat in this, unlike other teams like Ferrari or Mercedes,
Yeah.
etc. So yeah, I think if with the way Checo is performing, if he does that, if he's a good teammate, if they want a good teammate to Max Verstappen, Red Bull definitely has their priorities straight. They want Max Verstappen to win the championship, and they want Checo to help Max win the championship. So if he does not do that, that's when the problem arises.
If they are kind of replacing Daniel with Checo, then it is a very risky move because now he is a reserve driver. So again, coming back as a driver,
I don't think no.
it is not that.
Yeah. I don't think
It's
Red
gonna
Bull.
be a very bumpy ride because
Yeah, it
he
does,
has to get
definitely.
adjusted to the track, the racing, and also I don't think they would take that risk. There are some rumors that someone from Ferrari are talking with the Mercedes team and to replace Lewis or someone.
No, the rumor was that if Lewis retires, they want Charles Leclerc from Ferrari to Mercedes. And Charles is Forza Ferrari. Charles will never leave Ferrari.
No, Charles was the person who initiated the conversation with
That's rumors.
like
Charles has the longest contract
Yeah.
in the F1 history.
and-
Longest contract in the F1 history.
But ultimately, it doesn't depend on the contract, right? It depends on a
Yeah,
better
I
car
understand.
because it's his future too.
I think he
wants to
has
play
so much
good.
hopium. I think he has so much hope for Ferrari. And I hope he contends for championships. I hope the car gets better and I hope he contends for
I
championships.
hope his bad luck ends. He's having a lot of bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there are plenty of races where his car was not doing good. There were a lot of mechanical failures. So
Who is your favorite Formula One driver and why is it Lewis Hamilton?
you just asked a question asking who is your
Yeah,
favorite.
because I know the answer, that's why.
No, it's not Hamilton. I mean, probably I'm leaning towards Hamilton is because of what I saw in Drive to Survive. I mean, he has been world championship for 7 times. So probably he might have done good. So probably seeing the Drive to Survive has led me to this decision. But when I interacted with few people from a different generation or now what do you call it? And they literally hate Hamilton like a lot. And I couldn't understand why they hate him so much. Few people say it's because of his attitude. Always complaining or something or playing card. He's playing that black card.
Yeah. Let's not go into that, but yeah.
I mean,
I understand.
this was the perspective from.
That's very big allegations you're making on live on a
No, I'm not making an allegation.
public forum.
I'm just putting few points which I heard from people who are,
Okay.
way back seeing this from 10 years ago, whereas I just started. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that when you look at Drive to Survive, Hamilton
Yeah.
will be your go-to.
So yeah, who's your favorite? Who's your favorite now? Okay, let's not Lewis Hamilton, but
Now,
let me guess. Charles Leclerc.
I mean, I definitely want him to do good. He's been having a lot of bad luck, and I pity him so much. But now that Perez is doing good, Checo is doing good, I would probably support him. I don't want Max to go for the championship because if there is a fight between Red Bull, it's something interesting when you know that ultimately it's just gonna be Max. It just goes on. It gets a bit boring. So in order to make it interesting, I would go with Checo. So it's like we are from Red Bull, but you're here.
So aren't you gonna ask me who's my favorite?
You have been yelling about Max since the start of the podcast. Yeah, but still, as a formal question, who is your favorite driver?
Well, I definitely like Logan Sargent. I mean, he's my fan favorite. I love Logan Sargent, so I hope he wins the championship the next season.
No, I'm talking about this season.
Yeah, this season I think Logan Sargent is the best driver on the grid.
Who? I was expecting that you would say Max.
And I was expecting you would get the joke, but anyway,
Yeah,
let's
I
move on.
know.
Enough about F1. I think we've been talking about F1 for the past 22 minutes. It's too long.
So, do you think this F1 has led you to liking cars a lot more than before?
I never was into cars, but
Yeah.
F1 definitely has helped me get into cars. But it was the cars. I think the reason I like cars is I drove a Volkswagen Polo once, so that was something that attracted me towards cars and the history behind it. But yeah, F1 definitely elevated the experience. I wish I discovered F1 way sooner than I have, but yeah.
So, you would prefer car over any other transport?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Cars over bikes, cars over autos, cars over lorries, man.
Just so opposite in this.
Yeah.
I would prefer bikes.
I know. Why do you prefer bikes? What's with bikes and why not cars?
I
Come
think
on,
it's
man.
so comfy because you get air. Cars are a bit suffocating. That's
You have clean hair. Fuck the perfume. You have clean hair. You can put the AC on.
Yeah, it's like few people like it because you're used to it. You like that. The smell few cars have, they get this scented smell even if you turn on the AC. And it's not something I would prefer because ultimately it will lead to again some kind of dizziness. So,
Yeah,
no.
motion sickness. I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I have.
But
to
bikes in a tropical country like ours, the heat will get to you when you're in a bike.
I mean, it's better because, again, saying when you're on a bike, it's probably the heat and all. You can adjust. But if I'll be going in a car, for sure, I'll know that I'll knock out. So, I wanted to ask regarding something. Since, we are talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people right now are struggling with recession.
Wow.
You might not have a personal experience with that because you're from a different field, but especially IT, they're struggling a lot. So what are your thoughts? Because being a non-IT, I get to see a different perspective.
I mean, this is a question way above my pay grade, but to give thoughts about something serious as a recession. But yeah, it is inevitable. It's see, India has been on a bull market. We were riding. I think the Sensex has been up on a way more points in the past 5 to 6 years than it has in the last since its beginning. So I think India has been riding the bull market, and the world, in fact, after COVID and during COVID, we have been the Bitcoin rise, the cryptocurrency rise, and the way the stock markets have been rallying around the country. I think we have been in a bull run. And
We'll come back to that topic.
yeah, we shall. See, we have been on a bull run. The whole world has been on a bull run, and this way of correction, I think this is just a small correction. The recession is a correction. I think we're gonna have a good dip.
But
The markets are gonna dip. The world markets, the Indian markets are gonna dip. But again, they're gonna come back soon. So it's just a necessary correction that the market needs to have
you see
stabilizes.
that there are plenty of tweets as well as posts on Instagram which say India is not affected by the recession. It says 0%. But we coming from an IT industry, we know how bad it is. Now, if we talk to our managers, they directly told us, don't expect projects for this year, and even next year it's going to be same. So I guess it's very.
See, India as a country, all your IT field is definitely very largely dependent on the Western,
Yes,
because
US.
all your clients are from the Europe, the West, or the Australian markets. So definitely, if they are affected, you guys are definitely affected because they don't give you money and then the company can't pay your salaries. But India as a country, as a self-made in India, made in as a country itself, I think it has a very good strong point.
And you have given a right point because only the foreign-based companies are struggling, whereas when we come back to TCS or Wipro, Indian-based companies, they're doing well, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because my friends are there and they're like, no, it's all good. Whereas Accenture, Capgemini, Cognizant, these are all suffering.
Fair enough. See, exactly. The government, with its problematic parts of their governance, they have done great things for the Indian economy to stabilize. They brought good foreign investments. They brought good exposure to the outside world. They brought the Made in India campaign, which has been a great success, I believe. So we are slowly becoming self-sustained rather than depending on other people's money, other countries' money. We are slowly becoming self-sustainable, and that's a good for any economy.
Yes.
So we went to this anime movie recently. We went to Suzume.
Yeah.
What did you think about it? What was your experience with it? How did you feel like watching an anime movie in theaters? That too on the big screen.
Prasads.
Yeah.
It was too good because, especially more than the visuals, because of the sound system, I would say.
It was amazing.
It was too
splendid.
Good.
It was splendid.
I mean, even the last screen, when we went in, we were like, damn.
Yeah.
We didn't know because it was our first movie in a large screen and we didn't expect. But the sound system was very amazing, especially, when those water droplets, the rain.
It was great.
It felt so natural that, as if it's raining inside the theater. Even though it's not 4DX, but still, it was very, very close to it.
I just wish we have IMAX in Hyderabad, but again, I can't afford the rates again as well. But yeah, I just wish we had IMAX.
How much was the rate?
I think in Bangalore or somewhere the per ticket is costing around 1,000 or 1,100 for an IMAX movie. Yeah.
For a single ticket.
For a single ticket, yes.
That's kind of expensive, too expensive.
Yeah. But I don't know if they're worth the experience or not.
Yeah. I don't remember much of it because the first movie which I saw in IMAX was the Hanuman. Way back.
I don't think they had
first class.
I don't think they had IMAX back then.
They didn't have because people.
Oh yeah, we had IMAX.
Yeah,
we had IMAX.
we had
Yes,
IMAX.
Interstellar was the last movie which was screened in IMAX at Hyderabad.
Yes. And what about the movie? How did you like?
Oh, Suzume was great. I think it was very underwhelming, I would say. It was a good movie, but I was expecting something much bigger because I was comparing it with Kimi no Nawa. So yeah, if I were not comparing it with some other movie, then yeah, I think Suzume would have been amazing. It's a good movie. But it's a good movie. I liked it.
Since you told about Kimi no Nawa.
Yeah.
Your name, since you told about that. In Book My Shows, you have seen that I've sent you a screenshot.
Yes.
It might come back in India.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do a re-release.
So,
It's a worthy experience to watch it on the big screen.
Are you excited?
I am excited. Definitely, I'm excited. But let's see. Let's hope for the best.
And we also went to the Coldplay concert.
Oh man, yeah. I want to ask you, what, as you are as a Coldplay fan yourself, what was your experience with it?
I mean, it was too good. It's not like a normal concert experience, but it was very much different. I mean,
watching it on the big screen with all the music.
Yeah, exactly, and even those visuals. It is not something we would experience when we are in a concert. I mean, everything has its pros and cons. But I'm glad that I could experience both on ground and in theater because the visuals were just amazing.
They were amazing.
And since we could sit, we could eat, we could do whatever like we want. It was nice. It didn't feel like very claustrophobic or maybe.
Different. It was amazing.
What about you? You are not a
I mean,
Coldplay fan.
I am not a fan, but I've listened to the music.
Yeah.
I mean, half the time I didn't even know the lyrics that they were speaking about, but the visual experience of it was really great. I think whoever came up with a theater experience for a concert kind of plan, I think it's kudos. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think I had some good fun.
I guess people who didn't watch can watch because a non-Coldplay fan is telling you this.
I think you guys should watch it the next time it drops in theaters.
So we were talking about movies and all. What are your views on Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara? I keep bragging about it and recently we have watched, so go ahead and...
Yeah, I think I've watched Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara in my childhood, definitely. But it's all bits and pieces. But we recently watched the movie for the first time again together, and it definitely, starting from beginning to the ending in one sitting, it definitely was a really good movie, I would say. It was like this fill in the blanks things, like, I knew how the story is going to end, but there was this bits and pieces that were missing in between, which definitely made the whole experience of the movie better. And I realized how they made the three concepts, choosing three places for each friend, each own places, and discovering three things about their lives, uncovering everything, which was really fascinating. And I realized why you like the movie a lot. And tell me in your words, like, I want to know, why do you like the movie?
It's a very good movie. Each and every person can relate to that movie, especially it brings out the certain message that you should at a point of time overcome your fear, because you can't keep hiding behind your fear for a very long time. If you overcome it, it doesn't exactly become a fear, and it probably gives you the best experience. So and that way I guess I could relate to it, because ultimately it's about each one of them are experiencing something new, and that's the whole point. If it was from your version of Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, how would it be? What three things would you do?
I would definitely I would not do scuba diving. I have no water things. I would definitely do skydiving. They're equally dangerous. Skydiving is probably, I would say, more dangerous than scuba diving, but I would do. I hate water, so I'm scared of water. So I would do skydiving. I would travel to Amsterdam, probably experience the Tomorrowland's EDM concert, and I guess those two at the moment. Yeah, Japan. I guess Japan. I would go to Japan.
Yeah.
Japan's a great place. The culture, the anime culture, and all. Yeah, that's a great thing.
Coming back to the scuba diving thing. Are you sure that you're not gonna go?
Nah, bro. Dude, it's underwater.
I now challenge you that at the point of.
It's simple. I would do scuba diving, but it's just plain normal waters, but not inside the waters. No, not the deep water. Not deep waters.
I can challenge you right now on.
Nah.
That's what happened.
You can't. You don't have to challenge me. It's very scary.
No, it's not scary. See, that's the whole point about talking about.
So there are little fishes.
Because you can overcome it. That's the whole point.
I'm not gonna accept the challenge. Maybe that's for later. But see, it's water. Why do you want to get into something that you don't have no territory knowledge about? It's very dangerous.
It's the same thing with your skydiving.
No, you're gonna fall to the ground. That's enough. You're gonna get into water. You don't know what kind of fish you're gonna encounter.
There are places where there are no fishes and you can still go down.
You never know that it's not your world. Fishes can come at any point of time. Whales can. You never know.
Anyway, this is a challenge from my side that you'll be doing. So let's wait and see further whether this will happen or not.
Alright, so I think that ends the podcast.
Yeah. Zindagi na milegi dobara, so do everything
Yeah,
you can, including scuba diving.
that's a bit. I would say what cliche, but okay.
It's not cliche.
It is cliche.
It's not cliche.
Alright, let's end the
Yeah.
podcast. Roll credits.